all saw future rate hikes as being appropriate, and some even wanted to hike by 25 basis points at the June meeting. We don't know how many some is. We know it's less than many, and it's more than a few. The reason they wanted to hike was because they saw the labor market as tight, and they saw few clear signs that inflation was returning to the 2% target. Most said, however, the Fed would benefit from taking a little more time, dealing with the high levels of uncertainty that were out there. Those uncertainties included the lagged effects of monetary policy, as well as tighter credit conditions from the banks and what kind of effect that would have on the economy. Almost all saw inflation risks to the upside. Inflation, they said, was unacceptably high and slowing less rapidly than expected. And an interesting comment here in the minutes, some saw the effects of higher rates on housing bottoming out. In other words, they had already gotten as much tightening as they're going to get, or easing in the housing market, and it was already had already bottomed out. We've seen it bottomed out. We've seen and some of the economic data. Some saw downside economic risks and upside risks to unemployment, so there is a dovish wing to the party there, to the FOMC. Real GDP was seen as resilient, but expected to slow. And there's a couple more here. Consumer spending was stronger than expected. A few people were worried, though, in the committee that consumers are facing increasingly tighter budget constraints, including from less savings. The labor market was seen as tight, but payrolls were expected to slow. Finally, tighter credit conditions from the banks were likely to weigh on economic activity. And in fact, the staff is still forecasting, that's the Fed staff, still forecasting a mild recession in the second half because of those tighter credit conditions. But in general, they see the effects as uncertain. And some even said, you know what? It ain't coming.
Welcome in, everybody. I wanted to start that out by showing you what happened with the Fed minutes and what came out. That's going to be the big story today, as a lot of people in the June session, a lot of members, I mean, it said a few, so we don't know how many, but they wanted to raise rates by 25 basis points, the federal rate hikes, even though we stood pat. So I believe our next rate hike, we're going to do at least 25. We can see how they're talking about mild recession to come going forward. Well, when they paused rates, I'll let you know it's not just going to be a mild recession. This is going to end up being a full blast hyperinflation here coming up in the future at some point. Look for the U.S. dollar to be wiped off the planet at some point for the reserve currency, and then it becomes useless. Remember, currency and money are two different things. Currency is defined by, let's say you have a native fiat like the U.S. dollar. It's designated to your country. It has value to your country. The only reason the U.S. dollar carries its weight currency-wise around the world is because it's starting to transfer out of it now. But it was the main way to buy petrol. So any kind of dollar, let's say the yen, would be transferred into the U.S. dollar to buy the petrol and yada, yada, yada. Money is defined by a store of value or can be used universally. That means you can use it in Michigan just as easy as I could use it in, Cuba, Jamaica. Where else could I go? I could go anywhere. Greece. I could go to France. I could go to Italy. I could go to the Middle East. To go to India, but because it's money, I can use it anywhere. So that's the difference. And the best friend of crypto is money, the store of value. Crypto can be used as a store of value, but it's very volatile. Crypto can also be used as money because no matter where you go, it cashes out into the native fiat. But it's a little bit different than gold and silver. But that's the main difference between gold and silver. Currency and money, and it's one of my pet peeves. Besides that, we're going to see if XRP does in fact push down this 5%. As it's sitting at 473, we're going to see if we do come down to the 457 support on the uptrend, or if we can hold this area around 471 and just continue to push up to the top of the formation. But we'll take a closer look at that in the charts right now. And yes, I am a little beaten up still this morning, but I will tell you the swelling in my hand has cut down. It's still a little swollen, but it's definitely noticeably went down. So my hand's definitely on the way of recovery. You're always looking for improvement. I've got much more range of motion, more flexibility. A little bit of stiffness from the swelling that's left, but it's definitely feeling a lot better today. The face, yes, I seen the comments, very tender. It is tender, it is what it is. So anyhow, going forward, we talked about the 471 level for XRP. We put in a bear flag yesterday, and I warned of this. If we do get the rejection, which we ended up doing it, unfortunately, overnight, We talked about how we could possibly make a push up to the 200 day, and then if we get rejected up here around 482 or 486 area, 487 I think I said, where I circled it. If we get rejected in that formation, it would force us down all but certainly down to this 457. And right now, it does look like we're getting ready to drop the next part of this, and we're looking to finish off this 5% move to see if this formation is still bullish. If it is, this is something that I can see forming for XRP. We're going to focus on XRP in this update. And then I'll come back a little bit later today because I'm still running low on energy a little bit as my body is trying to recover from these injuries. But let's say it does this and then bounces up. We could start to say we've got down to the left shoulder, back up, down to like kind of a weird head. Is this like going to try to create a bounce point? I don't know. This could be the right arm forming right now. As we know, we're on a inverted left arm, inverted head on the formation breakout, or the bottom, I should say, on this formation when I redrew it. Now we hit the resistance, back down. Could this be creating an inverted right arm? If it is, it would use that to bounce back up. Now, let's say we fall out of this and you see us using the 457 level as a resistance. That could signal a drop all the way to the bottom of this uptrend, which, as we know, could lead us down to the 2020 uptrend right around 36 cents. So that's what I'm looking at for this morning. Do we finish off a roughly 5% drop down to the 457 level? Or can XRP hold this 471 support or 468 at last stand instead of coming down to the 457? To me, it looks like on this bear flag we could be coming down to the 457, but there is the one chance at the 471 to hold this, reverse back up. Now, if we look at the broader markets, Dow Jones and pre-market's down 129. S&P's down 44. So it's going to be interesting. Gold and silver, again, is correcting as it feels like it needs to. Total crypto market cap is at 1.153. And right now, it still looks like we've got a bull flag formation. And if it pushes up, this could be consolidation. I'm telling you. If this pushes up, the total crypto market cap could find itself at 1.32 trillion. That's what I keep seeing. If it doesn't break down, I could see it going up to the 1.32. Not just 1.248. It looks like if it breaks out, it's got a technical target up to the 1.327. And that's why Bitcoin continues its consolidation. And yes, XRP has a chance to go down, but that doesn't mean the pattern's over if it goes down that 5% to correct. Bitcoin maintains over the 30,000 level, remains over the CME gap, is putting a bullish handle on the cup right now, and it's in a bull flag. So that channel's at 30,000. We're just looking to hold that 30,000 or 31,000 when we push up, but we got to break this bull flag formation, and then the technical target's 35,054. If we break down, remember, the technical target's 25,194. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you got anything out of this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you want to show appreciation for my work and the time I put in, and help the cause, since I don't do any kind of paid promotions, paid advertising, or paid sponsorships of any kind. I put my content out for free for everybody, and that's just the way I feel. No matter the size of your wallet, you deserve the information if you want it. You can join Tom's Army to help push what I do. $9.99 a month to show support. It's in the video description below and or pinned comments. There's a message statement of how you can become an integral part of what I do and allow me to keep creative control. Also, if you're looking to trade XRP in the USA or your favorite crypto, FEMX is in the video description below and or pinned comments. You can buy XRP. There's no KYC needed, and you can still withdraw up to $50,000 a day. If you do KYC, you can do 1 to 10 million a day, but still. And then you can obviously trade your XRP there. There's no spot fees right now, so it's a good way to buy it, send it off to your wallet, or send it off to the exchange you trust most.